Screw it. Let's get it going. I'm too excited, and we got a lot to talk about before the game. Let's go. And we say, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media. Say good morning to everybody. It is almost noon Eastern. And with that being said, folks, let's talk about this game. I know I think I scheduled it for like 1 or whatever, but man, I'm just so excited. I got this energy in me. I got to get it out. Got here live from the Colts Stadium. I am in Indianapolis. Okay, I'm not. You can obviously tell it's a green screen, but I figured, kind of get something big going here, and at least get this for the pregame show. But I love all you guys. Y'all mean a lot to me, and all that. What's up, Drew? I love you, brother. Good to see you. It says Roll Tide, buddy. Good seeing you. I know you're from church, in case anyone's wondering. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this. I went ahead and I dropped the StreamYard link. Anybody's welcome to join. Want to hear from you guys. Want to hear your score predictions. I'm just going to go ahead and give mine. I know that I have, I have said some things. It wouldn't surprise me if Georgia wins, but I am confident that we can get this W tonight. I think we can. I think we will too. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think it's going to be close. It might be overtime. It might not. I don't know. But I say 34-28 Bama. Overtime, maybe a last-second stop like it was in the 2018. See, that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be close, and it's either going to end like the Jalen Hurts game, or it might be something similar to the Tua game. Now, I'm not talking like 2nd and 26, but like Bama wins on the final play or last second, or they get a stop on Georgia. And here's where it happened. You have the Heisman quarterback, right? You have the Heisman quarterback in Bryce Young. You got great weapons for him. The question, the thing is, I'm not looking to see what we get out of Bryce. I'm not looking to see what we get out of really any. I want to know, first off, number one, which defense is showing up? Which defense is going to show up? Are we going to choke this game like we did A&M? Or are we going to be dominant against teams like we were against Ole Miss, Auburn, or LSU? Even though we struggled in the Auburn and LSU games, we still had good defensive performance. That's the big question is which defense are you getting? And then, I believe in Bryce. I believe in the receivers. But can that O-line step up against the front seven of Georgia? I think they can. And, man, I just got to keep having some confidence in my team. I just got to say it. We are winning this game. You know why? Because who is Kirby facing that he can never beat, that he can't get with, is Nick Saban. Nick Saban's got his number, right? Now, I'm be fair, it being a national title game, Kirby can win this game. It wouldn't surprise me. The only thing that would surprise me is if, number one, it would surprise me if Alabama blows them out like they did in the SEC title. If Georgia doesn't keep this close and Alabama wins, that surprised me. I think they're going to keep this close. I think their defense is going to step it up a bit, and I think they're going to play I think both these teams are playing their best game tonight that they have all year long, and I really do think it will be more so on the defensive side. But, I can't sleep on my Tide. Y'all know this. For real. What's up, Trenches? I went ahead and I dropped the StreamYard link. Anybody's welcome to join at any time. Y'all come in. I want to hear from you guys, your score predictions and everything. But first thing I want to talk about, well, actually, I kind of want to talk about this guy with you guys. But when you look at these coaches and what's at stake tonight, Georgia seeking their first title since 1980. I don't put that up there to troll. Like, truly, I mean, that's what they're doing. I mean, it's been 41 years. Kirby knows that. He played at Georgia in the 90s, his alma mater. He was very amazing on defense, great defensive mind. He wanted to coach for a long time. This has been his dream job. Kirby's dreams will come true tonight if Georgia gets the win. And again, if Alabama loses, I'll just stand up and applaud you guys, truly, because Georgia's been on a mission. This is their year. I hope Alabama wins. I hope we get the upset, and I say it like that because Georgia is the favorite. Alabama is the underdog, and I don't blame anybody for that. That's just how it is. But overall, Georgia knows what's at stake. And this is something that I don't think the media is talking about because we keep looking at it, and I keep hearing from Feinbaum and everybody on First Take this morning, and everyone like Dan Orlovsky on Get Up, and they just talk, oh, Georgia could beat Nick Saban. Kirby can finally beat Saban. Kirby can do this, that. But one thing I haven't heard a lot about is the fact, are we forgetting that Georgia's in a championship drought? You understand all the 1980 jokes have to and probably will. They have to go away after this for you Georgia fans. They have to. I'll stop with it. I'll be like 2021, congratulations. Then next thing you know, it'd be 15 years down the road since this year, and it's the only title you've had is 15 years, 2021. At least it's not 1980. You know what I mean? But, man, could you imagine? It would not hurt Saban to lose this game. No, he's going to get back. And I think Kirby's building something. It's not a one-and-done situation. This could possibly be his only title. It's possible. But if he loses it, it's not over for him. He's an amazing head coach, elite head coach, recruiter. I know I say things here or there, but I got to be real with you guys today. I do love Kirby Smart. I love Georgia. I love what he's building with the program. He's doing an amazing job. He really is. They're seeking their first title in 41 years. It would say so much more, and it's not even close in this aspect, but put it in this perspective. Are we going to criticize the only thing bad about Saban losing this game is what he did to lose the game, what Alabama did to lose the game. It's not going to hurt his legacy. No. You just got to wait another year, though. But you got to also understand, too. I think Georgia does need it more, but there is a lot at stake for Coach Saban and the Tide, too. So here's what you have. You have a team trying to seek a title for the first time in 41 years, and the head coach is at his alma mater, and he could beat his former boss. That's for Georgia. What about Saban, right? We talk about what a win would do for Kirby Smart. Georgia seeks their first title since 1980. They need that. That's huge. And it can put the dogs on top of college football for the first time in 41 years. And Kirby, what he was hired to do, will finally do it. And he does it against his former boss. That's amazing. That's incredible. Georgia needs this win tonight. And if I'm being honest, if I got to take the Bama out of me, as a fan, we're winning this game. But truly, from a national standpoint, and if I have to put myself out there with the media a little bit, yeah, Georgia should and probably will win this game. They have been the better team all year long. Up until the SEC title, and I still think full-on talent, all the way around the team, I'd still say it today. But again, as a Bama fan, I want them, I want Georgia to lose this game and Alabama to win. But Georgia, if they win tonight, a lot will happen. Kirby beats his former boss. They get their first championship since 1980. It's been 41 years, right? That's what this will do for Kirby Smart. That's what will happen. That's what this means tonight. History, the end of a drought, the end of jokes, and putting the dogs on top of college football. That's what's going to happen tonight. What would a win do for Nick Saban in this game? I mean, would it really be anything special? I mean, look, it's if Nick Saban wins this game tonight, one thing for sure, I really can think of two things. Back-to-back championships, but also his 8th overall national title. He's already broke Bear Bryant. But y'all got to understand from a Bama perspective, if he wants to truly put himself out there as the best Bama coach, he has 6 at Bama, and that still is technically tied with Bear Bryant. Now, he has the most in college football history in the poll era, but the most in Alabama history, he's tied. But if he wins tonight, he's got 7 at Bama, he's got 8 in total, and he full-on breaks Bear Bryant. The only other thing he could do going forward is break his winning record, overall wins at Alabama, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, was 115. Let's double-check Nick Saban real quick. Overall, what he's done. 70 years old, and he's won, let's see, overall 269, 66, and 1 as a head coach. But at Alabama, he's 178 and 24. Now, Bear Bryant, I think, finished with 315 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let's see, 323, 85, and 17 overall. But you got to think he was at A&M for 3 years and then almost 3 full decades with the Tide. So, and he was with Kentucky for a while too. But overall at Alabama, it was 232 wins for Bear Bryant at Alabama. And that being said, Nick Saban has 178. So he's still a long way off. But for most championships at Alabama, he would get his 7th with the Tide. And that would full-on break Bear Bryant. I think Jeff's brought this up a time or two. But overall, there's a lot at stake for both these coaches, both teams, both, the players too. But overall, I would say, again, I think Georgia needs this more. I mean, because Saban could lose tonight. He's going to get them back next year. Georgia could lose. They could probably still get back. But, man, the Dogs have been waiting for quite some time. But overall, and I see you back to their trenches. I'll get you in a second. Overall, a win tonight, really all I can say is it means back-to-back, but also being the Alabama coach with the most titles at Alabama for Nick Saban. That's important to him. That's important for Alabama fans, and that would definitely add on to ultimately his full college football legacy. Trenches, buddy, what's up?
What's up, man?
I'm ready. I'm excited, but
yeah, I'm excited and nervous, probably just like you are.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I agree with some of what you're saying, man. I think it definitely falls more on Kirby and Georgia to win this game.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to hurt Saban is not even the record, because he's going to get that record. Whether it's this year, next year, the following, he's going to get that record. The only thing that's going to hurt Bama and Saban is, man, the team that's, right there with us as far as recruiting and trying to build a dynasty in the SEC is Georgia. If they can get that monkey off their back of Alabama, that's what's going to hurt. And it's not like I'm saying it's an automatic win for us from now on, but it's something we don't have to, stress every time we play Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. We don't automatically look at it and go, man, can we keep it close? You know what I mean? Like, that won't be there anymore.
Right. I think it's more so for if you're a Bama fan, what I'm really afraid of, I don't care if Georgia wins, they win. May the better team win tonight. Obviously, I won Alabama, but I'm not going to be on social media for quite some time because y'all Georgia fans are just, I know there's.
Don't put y'all, because if you win, I'm going to congratulate you, and I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
sour about it. And if we win, I'm also not going to be a dickhead about it. I'm going to be happy for my
I
team,
got
but
you.
I'm also not going to dog Bama. I mean, y'all weren't supposed to be here, and you had an amazing year and got here. That's
Yeah,
something,
that's
even if
true.
y'all lose, to
We lost a
enjoy.
lot. We lost a lot, and then we lost to an unranked A&M team. And, I mean, winning our division and playing Georgia, okay. Beating Georgia in the SEC title, let's be honest, man. Only
Huge.
Bama fans were really picking us. I mean, the whole media said Georgia, 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 and that's still the same this week. I think even I heard Feinbaum say he thought Kirby could get the win.
Well, the reason people are still picking Georgia is the same thing that your own, GOAT head coach said. They're the most consistent team in college football today.
Yeah. It's at
Um,
least for this year. I mean,
Look,
because y'all,
if Georgia comes out and plays like they did in the Orange Bowl, we got a hell of a game to watch. If Bama shows up the way they did in the SEC Championship and Georgia shows up the way they did in the Orange Bowl, this game's going to be a fun game to watch.
yeah, man, for sure. And that's the big deal, man. I think
Alan,
we
I
have
see you. I
to.
see your comment, dude. I'm not going to respond to it today. We'll pick up on the trash talk tomorrow, but not today. Not for the championship game.
Uh,
And you ain't got time, man. That's Alan just messing with me. I mess with Alan.
The big question I have is which team are you getting from both sides? Because are you going to get now? Are you going to get the nervous Georgia that got exposed? I don't want to say exposed, but that they got beat in the SEC title. Are you getting that one? Or are you getting the more complete that's been every other week of the season? And then for Alabama, there's like one or two, there's like three different ones that we've had this year, I've noticed. Are we going to have defensive failure that costs us like the A&M game? Are we going to have struggles offensively to where we almost lose to LSU or Auburn? Or are we going to play a complete game maybe like we did early on against Miami and against you guys the first time around, and we're just going to dominate like Alabama should? That's a big question is which teams are we getting tonight?
The biggest question to me is which Georgia team we're getting. I don't question whether or not Saban's going to have his team ready for a championship. But the good news from what I'm hearing, so last week, or what was it, last week or the week before, man, I'm so lost in dates now. When we went to the Orange Bowl,
Yeah.
they said that even though we weren't able to see the practices, this is one of the best we've seen Stetson and everybody else practicing before this game, which was great to hear. Kirby himself said this week they've had the best practices they've ever had. So I'm hoping that means we're going to have the best Georgia, and I know we'll have the best Bama. So this game, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a fireworks kind of game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, and I think, gosh, it should not, at least should not be like the last time we met in the title. I'm not talking about necessarily the second and 26, but if Alabama, not necessarily losing at halftime, but dude, you guys shut us out. And
Yeah.
I mean, it would have surprised. I mean, look, if I think your defense is that good that it can do it, but I mean, we're talking about a Heisman winner and Bryce Young and guys out there with Brian Robinson and just everything they have on offense, man. If they can't get it together offensively to start the game, which I think that they will, it'll be a long night because I don't know if this is one of those ones where we can just put a backup in because clearly I do. I know I've said something. I like Jalen more than Tua, but I know truly talent-wise, I do think Tua was a better talent and we needed to throw the football and we just needed that guy out there. Well, nobody outside of Bryce Young can throw the football like we need a guy to throw the football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this whole backup QB thing can't work tonight.
No, I don't expect to see a backup for either team. I mean, look, we could talk about Stetson versus Bryce, which, I mean, obviously Bama gets the edge on that one. But I think the X factor player that tonight that's really a lot's going to be riding on his shoulders for Georgia, for offensively at least, is Cook. If Cook can get separation, if he can get separation, he can start getting his wheel routes rolling and catching outside the backfield. Georgia can move that ball very efficiently.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now your O-line against Michigan, I thought was pretty – it was decent at times. But overall, what have you seen from the offensive line of Georgia this year? And are you Like, does
Love
it
it.
concern you that
No,
much?
I love it. I love it. Like I said on Halls of Fame Friday, man, somebody's got to give Jamari Sawyer some kind of an award. This kid has went from Will Anderson to Caleb Hutchinson to back to Will Anderson.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a feat itself, man. That's so impressive.
Yeah, it
But no,
is. Um,
I'm not stressing about our O line, to be honest with you.
yeah,
I'm
I know
more stressed
a
on whether or
couple
not we
years
can get
ago,
Bryce down.
you had guys like Thomas and Wynn, and then they left, and you had a bunch of young guys like the Sawyer you're talking about, where they're just young, so it's not looking too great. But maybe if we give them a few years, well, that's one of those guys where you've given them a few years, and it's part of what's made Georgia and Stetson so successful on offense, because they block really well. They give him time in the pocket, and he can go. And you got great receivers that can make big plays downfield too.
Well, that's kind of the one upside of Stetson is if the pocket does collapse, he's the guy that can bounce out and go.
Yeah, Wilkie says Bama just has to make Bennett be a quarterback. Pretty much. I mean,
now here's the question though. Here's the biggest situation with saying that, Wilkie. It's for the first time in the Orange Bowl this year, the first time all year we've seen Bennett actually be the quarterback.
Right. And
if we can play those kind of plays and get kind of creative with it, Bennett can make that work.
And what's so cool too is he did it. And I know that these teams faced off the first time in December, but man, I really do think that the Michigan defense with Aiden Hutchinson and everybody that they talk about, I think that's the true, first true defensive test that he faced, and he did amazing.
Aiden Hutchinson's so overrated. I hate to beat up on a team that we beat up, but I mean, dude, to put him in the Heisman contender when you got players like Jordan Davis, Will Anderson, and Kobe Dean sitting there, it's so disrespectful.
Oh, I know. How do you invite only one defensive player and not a few
when he's not even the best?
Right. 20 degrees in Indy. Let's see, 52.5 is the over-under, and it's a 2-point. I think it was a 3-point spread the other day, but it's now at 2.5, still in favor of the Dogs, who have scored 39 points a game this season. Alabama at 41. This scares me, though, man, because, I know what we've scored, but, again, with everything, and it's just been set up for Georgia, they've been on a mission. They've allowed 9 points a game, and it's crazy, man. That defense with Jordan Davis and everybody, they know what they did wrong in the SEC title. I'm sure they're going to get it fixed, but do you think there's oh God, I hope this is not like what Clemson did to us a few years ago. I hope.
Look, man, there's two hopes I'm really hoping going into this game. One is that no one gets injured on either team.
Right, of course.
And then I'm praying that it doesn't come down to a last play, and that last play has a questionable penalty for either side. I want a clear-cut winner.
Controversy. So then we're going to.
I don't want controversy at the end of the game. Those are the two things I want the most.
Yeah, I would want. I don't want it to be more than one possession game. I want a thrill down to the wire type of game in a way, but man.
I don't, but yeah, I got you. You're probably going to get your wish.
I got to feel that's where the pressure's really on Kirby because, he can coach a team. He can coach a defense. But, man, I feel like when pressure's on him and it's tight in a game, he has not been the best at coming away with game winners. I think in 2017 there was the Rose Bowl, and then what? How bad did you beat the Notre Dame game?
I'm sorry. I just saw C-Dog's comment. Yeah, C-Dog, you're always right. Just like Georgia Tech was going to be a great team this year.
Don't be surprised when it happens because C-Dog let you know ahead of time.
Yeah, if y'all look at C-Dog's picks, he's always the Golden Globe. Get out of here. Yeah, like I said, man, I think it's going to be a close game. And I don't think that really the pressure's on Kirby at that point. I think the pressure's on Stetson.
Yeah.
Because, the coach is going to try to put him in a position to win, especially a coach like Todd Monken offensively. The question is can Stetson handle the pressure of a last-minute drive?
He really hasn't had that this year, has he? Because you've just kind of dominated everybody. I mean, even in the Clemson game, I mean, it was a 7-point win.
He didn't play. It was all JT.
That's right. That's true, yeah. But
well, buddy, let me get off here. I got a call.
Yeah, man. All right. Thank you, Trenches. I appreciate that. Anyone's welcome. I'll drop the link again for Facebook and YouTube. Anybody's welcome here, man. Give your score predictions in the comments, or if you want to just hop on in general and we can talk about this. I'll be live for a while. I'm excited for this game, but I do agree, like, who do you trust with a game-winning drive? Are you trusting Bennett more or Bryce Young? Well, Bryce Young, I'll tell you what, you got to remember that Iron Bowl, he had a game, at least a tying drive, and then he kind of went down in 4 overtimes and gave it to Mechie. But so, I mean, Bryce has been tested. Stetson, and again, like you said, Trenches, JT was in that Clemson game and throughout the first month and a half, and then he gets hurt. Yeah, I mean, if it's a close game, I mean, that'd be a true test for your quarterback in Stetson.
To me, there's 3 factors for Georgia to win this game. It's get Bryce sacked at least 2 to 3 times for the whole game.
Okay.
No interceptions for Stetson. And go into the fourth quarter with at least a 10-point lead. To me, that's the golden ticket for Georgia in this game.
You had a 4-point lead in 2017.
Right. We need a 10-point lead. Make it a 2-score and let our defense win us this game. That's, to me, that would be the perfect scenario for Georgia.
Yeah. Now, if Stetson is struggling, now I don't know if Kirby has it figured out yet or what, but let's say if you have to make a switch at quarterback like we have, and I swear to God, I hope it doesn't happen. But who's the guy you put out there if Stetson's struggling and you need to make a switch?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I say you got nothing to lose. Put in Brock.
The freshman.
Yep. What do you got to lose at that point? I don't think JT can do it.
Second. I swear if this happens. If y'all beat, man. Oh, my God.
And it's nothing against JT Daniels. I just, when he has played this year after he got healthy, he looked terrible. He looks rusty. It looks like his head's not in the game. Put in Brock. Let's see what we can do. I mean, what do you have to lose if Stetson's, let's say Stetson's thrown 2 picks. You got nothing to lose at that point.
Has Brock played a single snap this year?
Yeah, all meaningless handoffs. But I saw him live at the G-Day game, and the kid, you think Stetson's fast? Good Lord. Brock is one quick dude.
I got to check this out. Hold on.
And I'm pretty sure he's transferring after this year, so might as well just play him the one game again.
That's the thing, though. Let's say if it happens in a Tua scenario, I don't think Kirby's gonna. He's not gonna do what Saban did the next year and put the guy that won you the championship at quarterback, is he?
It depends. So, like, if I had it my way, I'd play Brock. Like, in a terrible worst-case scenario, Brock would see the field today. But next year, I'd start freshman Gunnar Stockton and let him build and develop for 4 years or 3 years.
See, people – that's the thing that I always try to say is people say, oh, it's just a risk to start a freshman right away. Well –
it worked with Aaron Murray.
Some teams get freshman quarterbacks, and that's all they have. But then, I mean, that's not going to be Georgia's case, but I would agree with trying to let a freshman out there and then ultimately let him just take the team by storm young, learn the system right away, and develop him.
Think about it this way too, Ballard. All right, being in the SEC East next year.
Yeah.
You're a freshman quarterback. Let's say we take Gunnar, we start him. With the talent that he's going to have, people like Brock and Branson Robinson and all these great running backs and a good O-line, going against that SEC East defense schedule, he could still have a great season.
Yeah. For sure. I've seen Brock Vandegrift a little bit, but not on your team this year, but like his high school highlights.
No.
Millis says Brock is the best QB you guys have.
I agree. I'd say as far as athleticism, yeah, and ceiling, yeah, he's definitely got the highest ceiling. But I'd say Gunner is going to be better than Brock. Gunner's got a higher ceiling.
I'm excited for that. I mean, look, I know it's for Georgia, but I'm just excited to see what he does in football. This is Brock here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's he?
His feet are dangerous too, though, man. It's not just the arm. Like he throws better than Stetson and he moves better than Stetson.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Look at this man. He's fast.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, if Kirby was smart enough and you're down and struggling because of the quarterback play and he has to put a guy in, I mean, I swear I would lose my mind as a Bama fan if we got to deal with this.
Yeah, to me, he's more dangerous than what he brings to the table than JT.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. We keep losing Slim, dude.
He's got that hurricane internet.
Well, he is a hurricane. He's a Miami fan. But let's see.
Yeah, Millis, I've heard that too, that he may go to Clemson. And like I said, I mean, I'm going to hate to see him go, but I'm more excited about Gunner than I am Brock, to be honest with you.
Dude, does he think he is Justin Herbert? You talking about Brock or who are you talking about?
Yeah, he's probably talking about Brock.
He looks like Herbert. Brock from the highlight reel looks like he does look like he plays like he looks like him physically, and then he also looks like he plays like Herbert. He's got about the same build too. You'd think he's like his twin brother in a way. I don't know, but you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. I got it working.
Slim. All right. What's up?
Sorry. I was having testicle difficulties.
Makes sense.
Testicle. Oh my God. That's funny.
So, Slim, how you feel about this game tonight?
Well, I was sitting here listening to your breakdown, and I liked most of it. But there's one question I had that I want to get an answer from you. To me, the biggest problem I saw in the SEC championship game is Alabama did not let Kirby rotate out defensive guys like he likes to. And, I mean, they just flat wore out.
Right.
And I don't think there's a whole lot you can really do about that in the timeline from the SEC championship game to tonight. So what is Kirby going to do about that? That's my biggest question.
Number one thing you can do anytime you want to be able to switch people out is don't let them extend the drive. And I know it's easier said than done, but I mean that's the easiest way you can get out of it. To get them 3 and out and then move on. Besides that, I know they've been talking a ton about conditioning as far as like the interviews with Kirby and Jordan Davis and everybody else. Apparently that's been a main factor even before the Michigan game. So all we can do as Georgia fans is hope it works. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, from an outside perspective, watching the last game and now going into this one, that's my biggest question. Yeah, I think obviously Georgia's defense is great. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about the way they performed outside of that conditioning problem in that game. And I agree with you that most of the pressure is going to be on Stetson Bennett's shoulders. I said it on somebody's show last week. I think Georgia's offense has to put 30 points on the board.
Yeah, which is doable. Look, man, I mean, Bama's got a good defense, but are they, insanely amazing? I don't think so.
No,
but they're good. I think that, everyone was talking about how great Michigan's defense was, and we put over 30 on Michigan. So, I mean, it's can we capitalize on opportunities is going to be the biggest question in this game.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that they couldn't, but, I mean, as a rebuttal to that, you can look at the Florida game and say if it wasn't for the defense putting up points, you'd lose that game.
I mean, to an extent. I mean, I guess that's right before the halftime. That's when it kind of exploded. But even after that, man, I mean, you could tell Florida was just giving up on the game. But, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right.
Well, Bama's
I mean, look, dude. It's not bad to say that we're here because of our defense. I mean, we're here. Like, it's the same way as, Bama's had almost, I mean, Ballard can attest to this. There's been so many weeks in Bama this year to where the offense won the game or only the defense won the game.
Well, I was fixing to say that, like Georgia, this isn't one where it's like, oh, Alabama's the complete team and they got it all figured out and it's going to be on Georgia. It's really on both of these teams. And, and again, the experts are favoring you guys, giving you a better chance to win. I don't blame that. But, you think about it, people got to realize Bama's got some stuff to figure out too. We don't know, like I was saying in the trenches earlier, was which one are you getting? Are you going to get like the Miami game where defense was amazing and the offense was amazing? Or are you going to get one of those Iron Bowl type or the Florida game where the O-line just really, really struggled and did not give protection to Bryce Young? And let alone the worst part about that would be they're going up against the baddest defense in college football this year. That O-line has to play tonight. And also, is our defense going to even show up? Or are we just going to let, the receivers and Bennett just play out of their minds? Are we just going to –
I think you just hit the nail on the head, Ballard. I think the biggest factor going in this game for Bama is whether or not they can control that defensive line the way they did the last time.
Yes.
Because if they can't, that game's going to unravel.
I got my nerves, man, because I just don't know. But –
I'll nitpick at something you said just a little bit. I think it's unfair, and this isn't just a homer thing, but you used the Miami game as an example. Yeah. I also don't think it's right to say that your defense came in there and dominated, because it's not as simple as that. Miami came in there with the exact wrong game plan to try and beat an Alabama team. And I also think the same goes for Michigan and Georgia. I think Michigan came in there with the exact wrong game plan to try and beat Georgia that played right into Georgia's hands and made the game more lopsided than it could have been.
Let me ask you this then, Slim. What could Michigan have done differently? Because they it's not like they like, all right, we're going to play Georgia's game. That's all they had offensively. They had to play our game. They're not an Alabama offense.
No, I'm not at all saying that they're an Alabama offense, but I think they could have utilized the quarterback run more to sustain drives.
I'll say this, and you might disagree with me.
Okay.
Stetson's better than their quarterback.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, they're fairly close, but I would say Stetson's the better of the two.
No. But that's what I'm saying. So you're not going to see Georgia go out there and try to change the game plan against a run-first defense and try to light up the air, because Stetson just doesn't have that yet. I mean, we saw a little bit of it against Michigan, but you can't just change the whole game plan and hope to be an air raid against, that front seven.
Well, that's not at all what I'm saying.
Playoffs. Yeah.
That's not at all what I'm saying. But
all right, so what would you do differently?
You can also sit down and look at film. Okay, say, just for instance, say Georgia's defense is susceptible to a dink and dunk pass game. 3-yard, 5-yard out routes, curls, slants. I mean, he took advantage of several Several times the quarterback took advantage of an over-aggressive Georgia front seven and was able to escape right up the middle on decent enough runs to keep the drives alive. He just didn't do it. And I also think they could have upped their tempo, like I alluded to earlier, to keep Georgia from rotating out players.
Do you think it's because he didn't do it just because they didn't do it, or is it because Georgia changed the scheme and changed the lineup and everything else to adjust to that?
I think it's a bit of both. I don't think it's ever just one thing.
No. And I'm not arguing with you either, Slim. I'm just trying to see exactly what you're trying to get at.
Right. And on that, even to the point I brought up about Alabama's defense against Miami, it's not just Miami coming in with a piss poor game plan. Alabama's defense also executed. I'm just saying it's never just one thing.
Look, the problem that with Miami is not having nothing to do with Miami losing to Alabama. It was the first game of the season. You give Nick Saban that many months to prepare for a game, good luck.
Oh, I don't disagree.
And as the season goes on, you start to see the teams play more, and somebody like a Florida Week 3 early on is going to figure out what the heck's going on with Alabama. And really, I think that goes for any team in the country, really. But
and I mean, I wasn't even trying to make a point on Miami. I was just using it as an example.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, credit to Miami. If you have to play Bama first of the year, God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's no different than Georgia's game against Clemson to start out the year. I mean, literally, one defensive play decided that game.
Yep. Now, next year, Oregon's getting it bad. I mean, poor Dan Lanning.
We open with Utah State. Then we got to go play Texas.
Okay, you act like that's a big deal. When these contracts were signed, Utah State was not a ranked team, Ballard.
No,
y'all actually avoided.
Y'all are lucky you get like a quality win if you win this game. Like, we're not playing.
Georgia's one of those teams that most of the time opens up with a tougher game.
Yeah.
I'll give Miami that credit too. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
They're opening up. They have one. I think they've got a cupcake to actually open up, but then we got to go to Texas A&M.
Nice.
That's going to be fun.
Well, no Calzada. We'll see how they play.
Well, I think Calzada was part of their problem.
He might have been, but I'm saying, like, anytime he's like when Mon left, I didn't put a lot of faith in Texas A&M because you don't know who the new quarterback is and how he exactly plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I said early in the season, I think the main reason for some of Texas A&M's struggles was the fact that they lost that really good quarterback game one for the year.
No.
And then you're stuck with Calzada.
Shoot.
Why is there two different Ballard Sports medias in here?
There's not. Is there?
In the comment sections, there is, yeah.
Oh, because I'm live on Facebook too. I'm putting links.
Oh, okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah. What's up, Jeff? I see you there. I'll drop the link again. Always love hearing from Jeff, but he's probably going to keep his mouth shut because he's like, I'm not going to talk until the game's over. I don't know, but
I get it.
So expert picks for the championship game here. Final tally. This is ESPN, by the way. Georgia 31 picks and Bama 24 picks. Andrea Adelson said 28-24 Bama. Cal Bonagara, or whatever his name is, said 31-28 Bama. Bill Connolly, get this score, 26-23 Georgia. God.
I could see like a 31-27, honestly, going either way.
Hey, Harry Lyles said that Georgia. Chris Lowe, Bama 23-20. David Hall said 27-21 Georgia. Mel Kiper picked Georgia 31-7. Oh my God. Mel Kiper 31-17.
Good Lord.
Jeez. Okay, as a Georgia fan, you got to admit that's kind of insane, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I had it. My pick. I went high with my pick.
I mean, Georgia's numbers.
31.
Georgia's defensive numbers are comparable to Miami's 0-1 team, and they still couldn't shut down Michael Vick back then. I mean, he still was able to move the ball on them.
Yeah, and no offense to Bama fans, I'm glad that Bryce got the Heisman and everything. Bryce is no Michael Vick yet, though.
No.
He's got potential to be, absolutely. But Michael Vick at Virginia Tech was something different.
Man, I still have nightmares about some of those games.
Stephen A says 38-34 tied. Jesse Palmer.
Oh, thank God. I hate Stephen A.
Booger McFarland. Oh, God. Booger McFarland. Son of a. 27-17 Bama.
Hey, don't you dare badmouth Booger McFarland.
Yeah.
Did Marcus get a vote? Because that's the guy I listen to the most.
You talking about Spears?
Yes.
Let's see.
He might not have, because I think he's exclusively with SEC Network.
Greg
McElroy.
Page. He said 31-28 Bama. Yeah.
Just go the exact opposite of whatever Max Kellerman picks, and you're good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Frank Isola says Bama 35-20. Mike Golick 28-24 Georgia. I don't see Spears on here.
I think he's got an exclusive with SEC, so I don't think he gets an ESPN vote.
Yeah. But these predictions, some of them are the same, whatever. They're not bad, but that one which one was it? Hold on. 31-17 with Mel Kiper. I mean that
I take that with a grain of salt. You know how many times that man is wrong?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go way out on a limb and say Paul Feinbaum picks Alabama to win the game.
Oh, you better know it.
Pick Georgia.
I
think it picked Georgia.
You know, I thought about trying to call up, but man, I'm not. You can't get in on National Title Day. He has.
It's not worth your time either, Ballard, man.
It's not.
Yeah, not this.
Paul, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Paul Feinbaum is the world's highest paid troll. That's all he is. He's there to raise the blood pressure of fan bases, and he offers absolutely zero insight.
Where did he go? Tennessee? Wasn't that his college?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Explain a lot, I'm sure, but
makes sense.
I mean, he's the only thing I like about him though is that he's given me great sportscasting advice. But yeah, his takes sometimes are kind of iffy, you know, whatever. And he's one day he's for Alabama, the next day he's not, and the same for any other team out there, you know.
Well, this is the most I've seen him ride in two different teams trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't forget, according to Paul Feinbaum, Miami's a dead program that no coach in their right mind would want to go to.
Makes sense.
Mario Cristobal's there now. So,
he said that before they hired Mark Richt.
Oh.
Damn.
Jeez. And that was what? That was back in like 14 or 15, right?
16.
16.
Well, I think they might have hired him in 15, but 16 was his first season coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Trenches. I just hope this is a good game. I hope it's not lopsided going either way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, that's my biggest complaint about the playoff system in general. It's just too many lopsided games are not worth watching.
Yeah. I think, and you know, I said, and I know we talked about it, Slam, like it's not a do or die for Georgia, but really the only thing I'd say is that this team that they have has come this far and been that good this year that why would you not try to – obviously they're going to try to win the game, but it still seems like it's a letdown if they don't after what this team's done.
I almost think if
but
the
it's
general
not
line of
a one-time chance either. Like Kirby's going to keep going.
If the general line of thinking is correct and it all rides on Stetson Bennett and he fails, maybe losing a second national title game will be the wake-up call Kirby needs. That I need an actual quarterback, not a walk-on.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you win this game, I mean, who's up next? Jackson Muschamp? I mean, is he going to carry you to a national title?
Yeah, he is. I'm Team Muschamp all day, baby.
Yeah, but my point is you'll continue to see these 5-star quarterbacks sit on the bench in favor of somebody that's not as good.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, I don't speak for all Georgia fans. For me personally, if we lose this game, am I gonna be bummed? You damn right. Because it's once again, I still haven't seen a Natty. I'm gonna be heartbroken.
Now, okay,
I'm still though. Hang on a second. I'm still gonna be super happy with the season we had.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course, you have to be.
And that's where all those non-Bama fans who come on and shit talk on my channel, I'm like, y'all would trade me your left leg to get in my position right now. So stop playing.
So,
and that's not a shot at you, Slim.
Oh,
so
no,
let me
I
ask
know.
y'all this. So with this game, truly, I mean, forget what these teams have to do, but ultimately what you end up thinking it will be. Is tonight's national championship game going to be a defense wins championships type of game, or is it going to be what we've seen where you need to have the quarterback out there and offensive onslaught, you got to score some points? Like, are we going old school, or are we talking like what we've been seeing the past few years with college football, like LSU or whatever?
But I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to this game tonight, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
it's too hard, man. There's too many factors going into this game. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I think there is. I think there is some validity to the argument that you have to have. Now, you don't have to have a great quarterback, but you do have to have a serviceable quarterback. And I'll give Stetson Bennett his credit. He looked good in the Michigan game, but one game does not make up for what we've seen out of him for 2 years.
Right, but it's not the fact that he looked good in the Michigan game that's exciting Georgia fans. It's the fact that the offensive scheme finally changed and opened up. This is the most creative and the most down-the-field action we've seen all year. That's what's making us excited. It's not Stetson. It's the fact that the playbook's opening.
Right.
And that's a big question, too. Is it Monken, right? Todd Monken?
Yeah,
is he going to carry that playbook that he had last week? Is he going to carry that over tonight in Indy? That's the big issue for the offense. It's not about who's playing. It's what are y'all calling? What are you running up? And
I think you'll see some tricks. For sure, I think you'll see some tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as simple as carrying your playbook from one game to another, because what works against one team won't work against another team.
I just thought about that, and I was just fixing to say, because Georgia, or I should say Alabama and Michigan have great defenses, but they really don't run the same kind of scheme. But what's up, Jeff?
I have woken up this morning and decided to adjust my predicted final score.
Okay.
I had Bama winning 37-27 in several streams over the past 2 days, starting Friday.
Okay.
I think that's too wide a gap.
Ooh.
And I think the hero for Alabama is Will Reichard. His fifth field goal.
Oh, yeah.
His fifth field goal will make Georgia have to get a final drive touchdown, which they will not get. Alabama wins 29-24.
Ooh. Okay. So we just we would be up by 2.
We would be up by 2. We would be up by 2, worried to death that whatever the fuck his name is going to beat us with the Georgia field goal. Bama will score with about 3 minutes left, and then it'll be, can Georgia get a touchdown that will finish us off? And the answer is no. They'll get stopped on downs.
It would worry me, though, that, well, no, because we'd already be up. But let's say we're in a position.
And it will put an end to this ridiculous nonsense of you can't beat a team twice.
Yeah.
It happens all the fucking time.
It does.
There.
And especially when one team demonstrably defeats the other.
I think
I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, or I'm not saying that it's destined to happen. I'm just saying this idea that you just can't do it is just insane. And if that's what you're hanging your hopes on, you're in for a long night.
Now
You got to have something to root. You got to have something to back up your argument other than that.
You mentioned Will Reichert hitting one. We're already up. He hits a field goal. It kind of extends the lead to like 5 points. I think he said 29-24. But first off, I had 28-24. But gosh, not that I don't trust Reichert, but our history, what I hope doesn't happen. I don't mind Alabama winning last minute. I just want us to win this game, obviously. But God, I hope and pray that we don't have to try to hit a game-winning field goal, because then pressure's on. And I really don't think Will Reichert's had that pressure on him, because we haven't really had to try to hit game winners. I mean, even when he hit the 50-yarder against Georgia last year just to cut the deficit, like, there really shouldn't have been a whole lot of pressure. That was just one of those, let's see if we can tack on 3 and cut the deficit to a 4-point game, and then come back in the second half and just put the game on our shoulders. So
I want to ask Trenches. Trenches, I think one of the key moments in last year's regular season Bama win was it's 24-17 Georgia. And at the end of the half, Reichert kicks a 50 or 52-yard field goal and makes it 24-20. And so Bama goes into the locker room on a high note. I thought that was a really key moment in that game. I thought that was really huge. I mean, it was only 3 points, but it was 3 important points in something Bama's not good at, and it came at the right moment.
Well, of course it was huge. I mean, you took the momentum going into half.
Right.
I
agree with this guy that was on Mark Rogers' stream that this game might be decided by something none of us in here are even contemplating, that there's going to be a surprise. There's going to be a double reverse on a punt return. Somebody's going to throw a halfback pass. There'll be a fumbled kickoff. The unexpected is going to happen, and that will be enough to tip the balance.
That's what makes these games exciting.
That'll be enough to tip the balance between two teams. These two teams are Anakin and Obi-Wan. It could go either way at any moment.
Yeah.
And something completely unexpected might be what and I agreed with that guy. Something completely out of left field might be enough to tip the balance between two teams that are even Steven. Or think about this. Somebody tries to run the trick play and it blows up on them. Because imagine if Saban goes for the onside kick against Clemson and it blows up.
You talking about 2015?
Yeah. Now we got a different story. Yeah. Georgia runs the fake punt and it works.
Now, how do we know for sure? Like, you mentioned the unthinkable. For all we know, this could be a shootout. This could be all offense, and maybe nobody has defense that shows up. For all we know, but I
that definitely favors y'all in that situation.
Yeah, so I hope so.
I still like my 3-0. I still like my 3-0, my Georgia 3-0. That the key for Georgia is 30 points, 3-0, and then 3-0 as in 3 sacks of Bryce Young and no turnovers. If those happen, if Georgia goes 3-0, they're the national champion. And we walk off the field and we shake their hand and we salute their fans. And that's just what it is. If they get their 30-30, they're the winner.
Yeah. I
don't think Alabama can beat Georgia if Georgia doesn't turn the ball over.
And that seems to be something almost everybody's agreeing on across the board, whether it's Georgia fan, Bama fan, or uninterested third party. Stetson Bennett cannot turn the ball over, and he's got to play the game of his life.
Yeah.
Right.
Which doesn't mean that he won't. He very well could.
Oh, yeah.
Bama's seen that before. Steven Garcia. What was the kid from Chad? What's his name from Ole Miss in 2015?
Brad Kelly.
Yeah, Calzada. Yeah. We've seen the miracle play out your ass. Never do it again.
Nick, I hate to bring it up, but if we're throwing quarterbacks out there that come out of nowhere, remember Nick Marshall from
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
games of their lives. They never duplicated what they did, but they did it at Alabama's expense.
Yeah. Trenches knows about Nick Marshall, don't you? You remember that? You scratch your beard all over.
I hate that name with a passion.
I'm going to agree with something Josh Pate said last night on 24/7. I like him. I like watching his
So do
show.
I.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if you saw it or not, Trenches. He said that the padlock stat for this game is Georgia's yards per carry.
Yeah.
They were 3.6 yards per carry in Atlanta. If they run for 4.5 or higher, they're the national champion.
Right.
And I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I think Godzilla is going to get his yards.
Yeah.
He's going to get his 10 catches and his 120 yards. Let him have them. I'll give Godzilla's 5 and 7 yard receptions over the middle all night long if that means I can stop White and Cook.
Right. Yeah, I think Cook is definitely one huge X factor for Georgia this go around.
Yeah, I think that was Bama's plan in Atlanta. I think that was Golding's plan. We can't let screen passes in the flat, and we've got to limit the damage the run game goes. And of course, if you take something away, you got to give something up.
Yeah.
And what they gave up was probably the best tight end in the country, loose over the middle. But I'd rather risk the damage the tight end loose 7 yards over the middle does to me than a gazelle out in the flat running free.
And you know what our defense can't do is, and I think we did a pretty good job, but I'll say this, I do think Georgia has it's a pretty decent and solid O-line. So what we cannot do, if you're two guys I'll call out real quick, Henry Toto and Will Anderson are going to be the key guys to get pressure on Stetson Bennett tonight in the game. What you cannot do is you have to blitz and you got to be really fast about it. You can't let this man kill time in the pocket because if you give him just a little bit of extra time or whatever, he can throw the ball downfield or read the defense well enough or just get it to a receiver. So you got to be quick about your pass rush and getting pressure on Bennett.
Well, let me touch on real quick what LW just said, talking about how, Bama played their best game against Georgia, can't duplicate it. So can Georgia not duplicate what they did to Michigan? I think that's you're right on both. I think they both had their best games. The issue I see with Bama is not that they had their best game against, in the SEC championship. It's that it happened against the best team you just played, that you're about to play. So you're kind of giving Georgia the blueprint of exactly, okay, this is their A game, and they did it against us. So let's try to, work on the people on the field, their schemes, where they're sitting. That's the only issue and the difference I see between them. But yeah, you're right. Both of them have already played their best game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, this kind of falls under fan superstition, and I don't know how much of a superstitious fan you are, Trenches. But
yeah.
How glad are you that this game's not in Atlanta?
I'll take them with the stoners. I tell you what, you want to talk about superstition? Yesterday, I saw a tweet that made me so happy and gave me a little bit of hope. And once again, it's all superstition; it has nothing really to do with it. But since they're in Indianapolis, Hot Rod was practicing with them, so that gave me a little bit of like superstitious kind of hope.
Hot Rod, who plays for the Colts, who just sucked hind tit yesterday and played themselves out of the playoffs.
Yeah, because he can win the whole game.
I tried to find this out and I couldn't. Somebody said this may be the first time in the entire 119-year history of football for the University of Alabama that they are playing a game inside the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
I know Georgia just went up to South Bend, but I mean, how often has Georgia gone to the state of Indiana?
Probably twice this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about having two teams. They might as well have us playing at a junior college in the middle of Montana.
Well, look, here's the beauty of this game. No matter who wins, what happens? One, it's in a closed stadium. Thank God for both teams.
Right.
Because of the weather, dude. It's like 17 degrees there.
I know. And two, one thing Georgia and Bama fans can all agree on. Sorry, Slim. SEC still reigns on top.
Oh,
Ooh.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh.
That's
And you know
unquestionable.
what? There's some validity to that statement, but and a lot of people don't like him. But there's also validity to the statement Colin Cowherd made that Alabama may win more national titles, but when Miami's on top, they're just so much better than everybody else.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if we all had a time machine, we'd all have national championships today.
Well, and that's why
I love you, Slim.
and me and Jeff have talked about this. That's why this little 15-year lull doesn't bother me because I know that's how college football works.
Hey,
A lot of these Miami fans, well, grant that. A lot of these Miami fans will watch Miami and Miami only. And
right.
I'm a fan of all college football. So, and Jeff's brought this up. I've seen multiple droughts for Alabama. I've seen multiple droughts for Oklahoma. Name your team over and over. Ohio State. Yeah. I've seen it. So I know it's just Miami's turn. And I ignore the chatter because it's retarded that, Miami will never be back. Yes, they will. Stop it.
I mean, like Slim said, I lived through 13 years, won a Natty, then lived through another 17 without a Natty. I mean, I know what it's like to wonder, what the hell, can we at least finish in the top 5? Shit, come on.
Well, I'm also one of those people that I'm also one of those type of people. To me, a national title isn't everything. An Orange Bowl win is a very successful season for me. Or
had we lost in Atlanta and then finished 12-2 with a win over Baylor in the Sugar Bowl,
great season.
I would have marked that up as a successful season for Alabama, considering they lost. Considering what they lost to the draft, 8 of the first 39 players, 3 of the Heisman winner, and 2 of the other top 5, the Outland winner, the Remington winner, a top 10 defensive back, and we still got to the Sugar Bowl. Okay, I live with that.
That's why I laugh at the people that say Miami hasn't done anything since 01.
Is this what you're laughing at?
Yes. Oh, Brandon, you
dickhead. Oh my God.
That's why I laugh at people. That's why I laugh at the people that say Miami hasn't done anything since 01. I was like, well, they made it to the national title and then made it to 3 consecutive New Year's 6 games after that. I was like, so, from 2006, you got an argument. Through 2005, those are still, 10-win seasons, 11-win seasons. I'm not crying over that.
I saw Michigan.
I'm about to hop out of here. Hopefully we have a great game tonight and no injuries.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
Yeah, you watching from home, Trenches? Or are you going somewhere?
I'll be live streaming it.
Oh, okay. All right. That's right. That's right.
That's all.
Yep.
All right.
Y'all have fun.
All right, boys. Good luck to you, team. No injuries.
Good luck to you, Trenches. If it's
Georgia,
if it's Georgia, I'll be popping in to virtually shake your hand, sir.
Back at you, man. And look, if we do win, trust me, I'm not going to get on here and shit, Bama. Y'all had an amazing season either way.
Oh, of course.
All right, later, boys.
See ya.
All right, see you, Trenches. Have you seen the commenter in some of these streams called Dependent Fanatic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Dependent Fanatic is a diehard Michigan fan.
Oh God.
And it's not a Johnny come lately. He's been Michigan all season long. So it's not like I just jumped on when they beat Ohio State. He's been crowing all year about Michigan being the winningest program in the history of college football, and they've got 11 national championships. Well, I did a little research. Michigan has a shared national championship in 1997. The only national championship they have since the presidency of Herbert Hoover.
No.
So I told him to take his other 10 and wipe his ass with them.
Well, I mean, you can say that about 5 or 6 of Bama's.
You can say that about 4. You can say that about 4. You can say that about 4 of Bama's if you want to go prior to 1936.
And
I'm with the argument of those who say that Bama's 41, which is AP era, but Bama's 41 title is questionable. I say that. I agree with that because I think it gets negated by the fact that they got robbed in 66.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a wash. The non 66 wipes out the phony 41, and we're at 18 or 13 if you want to play it the other way.
And that's not just a pick on Bama thing. The same thing goes for Notre Dame. Most of theirs are back in the teens, 20s, and 30s.
Right. I mean, but the thing that does not hurt the Bama argument is if you want to go AP titles and you want to go 36 on, that does nothing to water down Alabama as the winningest national championship program. In fact, it widens the gap.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you want to even get technical about it, it wasn't even called the national championship until 1951.
Yeah, it was just and it wasn't 74. Was 74 because they changed the vote until after the bowl games, because before then bowl games were seen as exhibitions. It didn't count. Whoever finished first was already voted for before you even played your bowl games.
Kind of like the Heisman back before pre-19, what was it, 90 something? It was all before the bowl games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the Heisman has become the glamour award.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest is all it is.
Yeah.
Can I ask though, real quick? So, Slim, do you have a preference for who you want to win tonight? Because don't Miami and Georgia have a little bit of history and beef?
No, not really. Miami and Georgia played twice, maybe 3 times ever. The last meeting was back in the 60s. And
That's
Miami's either 1-1 or 1-2 against Georgia. So I mean it.
Yeah.
And actually, kind of a history lesson that even a lot of Miami fans don't know. I've come to find out. Prior to the Orange Bowl opening, Miami was not the Hurricanes. Miami was the Warriors, and they had an emblem that kind of looked like Florida State's in a way, or how the Cleveland Indians emblem used to look. But their first game to be played in the Orange Bowl, surprisingly enough, was against Georgia. And it got
Warriors.
And it got postponed due to a hurricane. And after that is when they changed it to the Miami Hurricanes in 1930?
Well, I think I saw somewhere where the Redskins are not going to be called the Red Wolves or the Wolves. That they've got the name has been decided, but it's not going to be Red Wolves. I think their coach said that, and their coach said they should have never changed it to begin with, which is correct.
Yes.
But
snowflakes, go on.
Yeah, I don't know. They ought to be named. They ought to name them the Federal because Washington D.C. is a federal city.
Well, I mean, if you want to go that far, then it just suits my argument.
Oh, didn't hear that.
You cut out a bit.
Sorry, to call them the retards.
It'd be funny. Hey, one of my best friends said that they're going to change. They're going to change their emblem to a giant L on the side of the hat with a dollar sign through it, and they're going to be the Washington lobbyists.
That's awesome. Oh.
You know, the Braves got rid of Chief Nakahoma. The Indians are taking their tribe shit down. And you know what? The Indian people themselves don't give a rat fuck about this. Every poll that ever comes out that's a national poll says they don't give a shit one way or the other.
No, it's a bunch of white people that are mad about it.
Yeah. Fucking Illinois got rid of Chief Illiniwek. The fucking name, the state is named after a tribe that doesn't exist anymore because it got wiped out by other Indians. I mean, come on. I mean, you can't. I had a professor at Alabama that was surprisingly fairly conservative, and he would constantly rage about people who would be reading early American literature, early English literature. We're talking 15, 16, 1700s, and then try to castigate the author or blast the characters or the subjects of the story for how they behaved. So you can't put 20th and 21st century morality onto people that didn't live at that time. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
How dare you spew this? How dare you spew this bigotry, Jeff Webster?
Yeah,
I'm looking.
slavery was the norm through all of human history until the last 200 years or so. And who put an end to slavery? White people.
Yeah, you tell him, LW. Thank you very much.
Miami scores 10 tonight. So I got a question real quick. I'm looking. So the 2001 Miami team, when you won the title, it was Larry Coker that was the head coach, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So what happened, though? I guess you move. I'm looking here. You move to the ACC in 04, and you go from having 12-0, 12-1, 11-2, a little bit of decline here or there, but then you just kind of fall to 3-4 lost seasons. What happened with all that? Was it the ACC or was it?
Well, no, because he was that was his fourth year or third year when they joined the ACC. No,
After his third year, yeah.
My opinion on that is Larry Coker was handed. He was handed such a great team that it cruised to 2 national titles, or 1 national title and then another national title game, that it made him complacent. He didn't have to do anything for 2 years. Literally. I mean, players have even come out and said, Ed Reed said that him and Ken Dorsey ran the practices. It made the coaching staff complacent. And then to add on top of that, Rod Jasinski never changed up the offense when Ken Dorsey left. He kept trying to run it like he had Ken Dorsey and those very same receivers, and those aren't the same guys. Yeah. So the same exact thing isn't going to work. Brock Berlin was not Ken Dorsey.
That's one of the things that one of the attributes, one of the personality traits, whatever you want to call it, that has worked in Saban's favor. He's a greedy son of a bitch. He's more concerned with the process than he is with the end result. And so therefore it's just like he hits the reset button. Okay, ding, game over, season over. Okay, restart, restart.
And I think you're right about that, because I've heard people make the exact same statement, almost verbatim, about Tom Brady, and that's why he wins as much as he does, even though you hate him.
Yeah, it's the same idea. It's that seeing what you went through work is more of a satisfactory result than the actual winning of it. You know what I mean? The what do I want to say? The affirmation that you were doing the right thing means more than the proof of it that you won the big game. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I think so.
I think that's where guys like Saban, guys like Lombardi, guys like Brady, those like guys like Belichick, that's where they're at. They're in this little realm where 2% get, where that their satisfaction comes from doing it right, not necessarily being the one standing there at the end.
Nick Saban has a quote. He says, "Focus on the process rather than the outcome." So I mean, and
I'm not saying that. I mean, you can't tell me that Tom Brady doesn't enjoy each one of those Super Bowls, so that Nick Saban doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
but I just think they enjoy it different than the other people that are standing up there on the stage with them.
Right, like. So there's
the other people are standing up there going, "We're national champions. We're national champions," and Saban's standing up there thinking to himself, "Proud of you guys. See, I told you this would work."
Right. Like, how many times have you heard Nick Saban say, in the preseason. And I know it normally comes from fans. Like Alabama fans will do it. Like we're going back to back. We're going 15-0. We're doing that. But Nick
That's because
Saban
we're greedy.
will never sit up there and say, we've had a really good practice this week, and I'll tell you what, these guys are ready for the challenges ahead with the. We're trying to go back to back. No, he says he's proud of this team, but also here's what we can do to work. He wants the team to play their best game every week. He's not looking ahead. He wants a title, but that's not his ultimate goal. He just wants to help these football players to get to the next level. He wants to bring the best out of the players. And if it ends up being a title team, which quite a bit of it has been, then that's what it is. But he's not always there in the offseason saying, oh, we're going to get to Indy, we're going to get to Santa Clara, we're getting to the playoff and we're winning. That's not Nick Saban. That's not his attitude. That's not his mindset. And like you said, a guy like Bill Belichick's the same way. I mean, he doesn't – at those Super Bowl seasons, he didn't sit there in the preseason saying Tom Brady's going to win us a ring this year. He sat there.
You remember offensive lineman Barrett Jones?
Yes, big guy.
Started at 3 different positions and would have had a nice NFL career if his knee hadn't gone to paper mache. But he was interviewed about, I think it was during last year's title run, and he's got 3 national championship rings. And he said they're getting ready to play Georgia before the SEC championship game. And the last practice before the 2012 Georgia SEC championship game, Saban just comes undone. The top of his head just comes off because he wasn't happy with the practice. And Barrett Jones says, we were 2 games away. He's talking about his graduating class. He says, the seniors, we were 2 games away from winning our 3rd ring. And we went in the locker room and said, guys, we could win our 3rd ring. And 3 is how many times we've heard coach say we had a good practice in 3 years. three times. 3 times he was satisfied with how practice had gone in 3. Now that's probably an exaggeration. Yeah, that's obviously an exaggeration, but it's.
But I mean, you hear that about the greats in every sport, not just
right. Yeah.
Nick Saban, Tom Brady, but I mean, you ask anybody, nobody worked harder than Kobe or Jordan, and that's why they were on top.
John Wooden at UCLA, Red Auerbach with the Celtics. All the greats are that way.
Exactly.
It's what sets them apart. It's why they are the greats, and everybody else is just good.
Absolutely. Oh,
and I know it pains you to say that about Tom Brady, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I hate him, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to get. I hate his guts. If it wasn't for Scam Newton, he'd probably be my most hated player in the NFL. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give him credit. I will give credit where it's due. And I mean, how do you not? I mean, how do you question Tom Brady? I mean, come on.
What's up, Roger? I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. He asked, does anyone know if Chris Allen will play tonight? I haven't heard anything on Christopher Allen this week, actually. I know, man, he's been out quite some time.
Let me interrupt it, Bauer, before I lose my train of thought on this, because it was an interesting comment that somebody brought up in Mark Rogers last night. You know what we haven't heard a word about? Not a whisper. COVID.
Yes, thank God.
Isn't it magical? Isn't it magical that once we got down and got past the quote unquote other games and got down to the New Year's Six and the playoff games where big television money is involved and big corporate and big business money is all tied in, all of a sudden the COVID issue, poof, disappeared.
See, we didn't need the government. College football solved COVID. Yay!
Yeah. Yay!
Turns out somebody just caught a cold.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty much.
Jeff on here with all the fake news and alternative facts today.
Well, I mean, I just thought it was interesting that that's all of a sudden that was the big concern 3 weeks ago. Oh my God, what happens if Bryce Young misses the game because or Nakobe Dean or whatever? I'm like, it's not even an issue.
Yeah.
Once these teams got back on campus and got isolated, and to the great benefit of the teams, their student bodies were all off on Christmas break, so there's no thousands of students humming around campus, and they can be kind of quarantined, by the coaching staff, controlled where they go. Brought an end to it.
Well, I mean, if you think they've been totally isolated, I think you're fooling yourself. I mean, even NFL teams, even guys that play for NFL teams. I mean, it just came out that the day before Antonio Brown walked off the field, he snuck some IG model into the hotel.
Yeah.
So, whatever. These people aren't quarantined. They just don't care. It's much like how normal people have dealt with this quote-unquote pandemic since the beginning. I don't sit at home or take a day off of work because I don't feel good today. I go to work anyway.
Yep. Last time I missed a day of work was Saturday because the fucking battery died in my car.
Yeah, I've called into work one time in the last 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah, I took a personal day this summer for personal reasons and missed an iCub game, and I missed the TCU ISU game Saturday because I couldn't get my car started and I couldn't get anybody over there to jump it in time. So I missed 2 days in the past year and a half, I'm thinking. Now I don't work every single day. I'm not a 40-hour go in, punch the clock, whatever. But I'm just saying, when I've got a contract, I've got somewhere to be, I'm there. And if I'm not feeling well, I'm there anyway because I need the money.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of the same thing what you're talking about. These companies have invested money. They're spending money. The show must go on.
Yep.
Now, you going to tell me the Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce, the big movers and shakers in Indianapolis, the big sponsors of tonight's telecast, ABC/Disney, the fucking mouse from hell. You telling me they're not pulling some strings? Come on.
I still don't think that this, if Bama wins tonight, and Jeff, I'll explain, it'll be amazing. But man, I don't know about you, but after what last year's team did, man, I don't know if there'll be another Natty that special, just because of what, that team had to go through. I mean, Saban said it quite a bit. I mean, it's always special to win a championship, but like, I think my favorite is last year's.
Well, for me, and I'll explain why. They'll never be. I mean, as special as 09 was, to me, 92 was the one, because you have to understand that before Georgia won it in 1980, Alabama had won it in 78 and 79.
Yeah.
So when I was in 7th grade and when I was in 8th grade, we were the national champions. I ended up being an Alabama student. I got to go all the way through 13 years. Are we ever going to win this again? And then we won it in 92. Now, I didn't know in 92 that we were going to go 17 years and not win one. But
Yeah,
92 affirmed that, okay, when things go right, it is possible. You can win a national championship in Tuscaloosa.
of course.
Of course, I had no idea what was going to happen, so 92 is always going to hold a special place for me. That would be, if I had to single one out,
Yeah.
I'd say 92. And then 09 for the reason that it too ended a long streak. What I didn't, when they won in 09, because of how strong they were in 08, and then they won it in 09, I thought, okay, Coach Saban's building something here. We might get another one in another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And then when we got one in 11, that's when I got greedy. Not when we won in 9, but when we won in 11 and paid LSU back. And then I thought, okay, something's going on here.
And then we went in 2012, and you're like,
yeah, something. Yeah, we got something going here.
Right.
Well,
And
Nobody.
I'll
could
say
have
this.
foreseen this.
I'll say this about the 1 in 12. There's probably 10 teams you could have put in that game. They would have obliterated
my
Notre
God.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes. The national championship was decided in Atlanta that year.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia would have blown Notre Dame out just as much as Alabama did. There wasn't anything special about beating Notre Dame that year. It's just that's who was standing in the way.
Yep.
Yeah, you could have picked. Yeah, I agree with Slim. You could have gone to you could have grabbed number 7 out of the list, and they would have beat Notre Dame that night.
For sure.
And that's fine by me. If I could have watched 10 teams beat Notre Dame, I would have enjoyed every single one of them. It's just part of the laws of being a Miami fan. You have to root against Notre Dame.
Right. One of the problem with Notre Dame has been the same since they won it in '88 with Tim Brown. They just don't have the explosive wideout, the explosive quarterback. They're good elsewhere. Look at the NFL. The NFL's got plenty of guys on offense and defense, defensive lines. They've got linebackers. They've got guys in the second. Plenty of guys that went to the University of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But not quarterbacks and wideouts. Not the skilled position players. And you got to have those to win. And Notre Dame doesn't have them.
Yeah.
Now, you can we could talk to the cows come home about why that is. But it's pretty clear. Whatever the reason, the result is clear.
Yeah.
And I agree with Crimson Brave. This was the year for Notre Dame to finally win that big postseason game. Yep, and they had it in their hands, and they whoops. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at LW.
Oh my God. This goes back. Hold on. Because him and Crimson are talking. He's just kind of ranting about like the mask and COVID and stuff. But the people who wear their masks, that's stupid. Why do people wear their mask while they drive in the car? They're by themselves. And even if they're not, you're in the car. Why? If you're sick, stay home. That's how you solve this.
That makes as much sense as if I was sitting here in my living room wearing a mask. For what purpose? Who am I protecting? Right. Me? I wear my wife's song as a mask in the shower. That's great. that might be the comment of the day.
Comment of the day. Oh my gosh. I can pin comments. That's going right at the top of the stream. I don't even care. That's too good. Oh, hold on.
You pull up next to somebody at a stoplight, or you drive by somebody, and you see them air guitar or thumping on their steering wheel or something, and they're clearly jamming or listening to whatever music's in their car. I never laugh at those people because I do that too. That's just something everybody does, but not everybody's enough of an idiot to be in a fucking car by themselves solo with a mask on. I mean, that's a special kind of stupid.
Oh no, it gets even dumber than that. I was threatened with arrest in it was like May or June of 2020. So it was a couple months after all the lockdowns started, and I was just like, whatever. I had taken pulled my boat out to where I go fishing, and I was launching my boat at the boat ramp by myself. Nobody else out there. Game warden threatened to arrest me. He said all government property is shut down, locked down. I'm like, what am I going to give the damn fish COVID? Well, I mean, what's fixing to happen?
LW says if Slim wears a mask, does Miami still score tonight?
No, they don't. As a matter of fact. That's why I don't own one.
Yeah.
God, quit cutting me off, people.
What's your pet peeve, Slim? People that cut you off, people that get in front of you and then slow down, or people that get inside your right-hand turn?
Oh.
I mean, people that get inside my right-hand turn, they get what they deserve, which is fixing to be a smushed car.
Right. Right.
I think more so it's people that are going to get in front of me and slow down because.
Right.
Let me put this as simply as I can. You take something like a Corvette, 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. My 0 to 60 is 2.4 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to take me forever to get back up to speed, and that annoys the crap out of me.
Right.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
And the dime that you can stop on is a dime a quarter mile long. That's
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like people well, I'm going to beat this train. Well, let's see. That train's traveling at 45 miles an hour. If it hits its brakes right now, it might stop in 2 miles.
Yeah. And I've got traveling at highway speeds, I'm looking at about 200 yards.
Yeah.
Because not only, and actually it's even worse in my case because I'm in a tanker. I'm in an unbaffled tank on my back. So as soon as I hit the brakes,
so all that weight comes forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I will never go around a semi if I see that 100 yards in front of the semi is a car that I'm going to have to fit in between that car and the truck, meaning the truck is now going to have to slow down. I won't do it. I'll wait until I can go around that other car because I'm not going to have all that tonnage come up my ass.
Yeah.
And I just assume not, and just out of common courtesy, I just assume not piss the guy off.
And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of instances, I'm not going to act for a second like there's not, when it's fucking semi-drivers thinking that they own the damn road and acting like a bunch of assholes. There are plenty of them that do it. Plenty.
Yeah. So, Ugga Boy, it's here, man. How you feeling?
Can we beat Alabama? That's the $1 million question. I mean, I feel like we can beat everybody else. I'm beginning to wonder if we ever going to beat Alabama. This will be the game, dude. This will be the game right here. If we are going to do it, this will be the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's your best shot. And, and again, I said earlier, I mean, I guess I agree with Slim. Like, if you don't win the Natty this year, like, there'll still be other opportunities. Like, you can keep recruiting and get back.
It won't never happen. I don't think it's still under Saban. But Saban being at Alabama, I don't think it will ever happen.
Right,
And who
well, that's
knows
what
how
I was going to say.
Alabama will be after Saban.
If you don't take the chance to beat Alabama, because Bama's
I
not
don't
going
even
away, this is
I don't
it.
even necessarily agree with that. And I said it to Trenches earlier. I said, losing this game may be what it takes for Kirby to finally see, okay, I'm not going to win one with a walk-on quarterback. I need to put in these elite quarterbacks I've got sitting on the bench.
Well, it's not more so. I don't see a lot of y'all think, and I'm not. See, I have a different perspective on that. Like, I don't necessarily think that it's all about a walk-on quarterback. I think because, dude, Jake Fromm couldn't get it done. We're talking about Aaron Murray in 2012 couldn't get it done. This is beyond Kirby Smart. So to sit here in fairness to say one quarterback can't get it done, I don't see. That's why I start questioning Georgia, because when Alabama is on top of their game, Matt Stafford, in 2007 is the only time we beat Alabama, and that was only by a couple of points.
Well, to try and compare, 2012 and Matt Stafford to 2017 and Jake Fromm, you're comparing apples and oranges. That's two completely different things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Georgia is not every year, every time these Georgia fans, including myself, we're excited and we're like, oh, this is the year. This is what's going to happen. We always get let down, and it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who's playing. It's a repetition. So I'm beginning to wonder if we are going to beat Alabama.
How do we know it's not about, how do we know that it's the wrong guy out there for Georgia and it's not the coaching or the coordinators or whoever? For all we know, I'm just going to say it. I think it's Kirby. Now, he's an amazing recruiter and defensive coach, and I'm not saying y'all need to get rid of him or whatever, but, with how he has handled, the Fromm and Fields thing, and then last year before JT, it's crazy. You and I obviously off here talk about it all the time, but.
Well, you can't. Nobody can sit there with a straight face and tell me that Jake Fromm is a better quarterback or even leader of a team than Jacob Eason or Justin Fields.
I think it's all about. I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's about who is better, and I hate to say that, unfortunately. I think what Kirby and them is, he's just trying to fight for the next week, the next down, and I think if he can put me, Ballard, or whoever out there and can get the job done, I think that's what Kirby's going to do. Here's another thing real fast. Another thing real fast is, I get it that Kirby's the head coach and he needs to take criticism. But for once, for the love of God, can a Georgia fan start blaming Todd Monken for these decisions? Let's be honest. It starts with Todd Monken, then it goes to the head coach.
Yeah.
Well, because, and I see this in Miami's fan base as well, they just don't. You're the head coach, and all the buck starts and stops with you. It's just the way people look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Georgia has to do. We know the talent's there. It's next man up. We know Georgia's got the talent. We could talk about all these coaches that could probably do this and that with Georgia, and they probably can. I just don't understand what is I don't understand. It seems like it's almost every year, or when Georgia has a chance to do something, Georgia finds a way to choke. I just don't understand.
Well, I've said this before, and I think a lot of people discount it. There's a lot of luck involved in winning a national title. There just is.
Yeah.
It's not always, and we've seen this play out time and time again, week after week, game after game. The better team doesn't always win. People want to say, well, this team's better than this one because they beat them. Well, not so. Jacksonville just beat Indianapolis. Do you really think Jacksonville's a better team than Indianapolis? No.
Or Detroit beating Green Bay.
The 2016 season, would y'all really say that I get Deshaun Watson and all that, but didn't they take a loss big time? Who did they lose to that year? Louisville or whatever. But Clemson beat us, and I mean, not that they didn't deserve to be there, they did, but man,
How big is this game for Kirby Smart in reality?
Huge.
So we keep asking, or at least I keep saying, if Georgia beat Alabama and Nick Saban? If let's just say hypothetically speaking, if Saban sticks around to 2024 or 25, let's just to say that,
okay.
and he still gives Kirby fits, how long will Georgia put up with it?
I don't know, man.
A
but I'll tell
long
you
time
what,
because
A long
Kirby's
time.
a long time because Kirby's in year 2, year 6, fixing to play in his second national title game.
Right.
I think it is absolutely retarded and brain dead. Despite what you think of Ed Orgeron, or even what I think of Ed Orgeron, because I don't think he's a very good coach, that you fire a guy not even 2 seasons removed from a national championship.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
But the trick, the secret for Georgia, if they don't win tonight, is just as much as it's going to suck. It's what everybody else in the whole country is going to have to do,
Yeah.
and the whole country is facing a gigantic shit sandwich, and whether they like it or not, they're going to have to take a bite, and that is you're just going to have to wait.
right.
The man
I
is
don't
going to
think it- I
retire.
don't-
The
I don't
man's
think
going to
you just have to
retire.
wait.
The man's going to retire in 5 or 6 years. You change the spring recruiting requirements, trying to stop him. The famous quote unquote Saban rule
Yep.
blew up in your face. You changed the early signing date to stop Saban, blew up in your face. You brought the NIL in, thinking that might even the field, blew up in your face. You're just going to have to wait till the guy's gone.
Not
But
really,
once
because
he's gone,
you've seen. Hang
y'all
on,
can have a
because
big
you've
parade.
seen Saban beaten. You've seen Saban beaten time and time again. He
Yes,
can
I've
be
seen him. I've seen him lose 18 games, 2 of which were national championships, in the last 15 years. So yeah, he can be beaten.
I mean,
He's
Dabo
he's-
Sweeney's got a pretty good idea of how to beat him.
He's only averaging 12 and a half wins a year since 2008, and you're only guaranteed 12 games a year, but he's averaging 12 and a half wins a year. So yeah, he can be beat. I mean, you do know that Alabama averages 12.5 wins a year, and they're only
Okay,
guaranteed.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're just going to have to wait until he's gone.
I don't believe that at all. Like I said, I mean, Dabo's got it down pretty good how to beat Alabama and Nick Saban.
I think you just got to beat Alabama at the right time, maybe like for a national championship.
Saban's taken 2 from Dabo, 1 in the Natty, 1 in the semis.
Yeah.
But if you're going to get Bama, this is the year to get them. This is, by their own standards, comparing this. If you looked at the teams that put all the teams that Nick Saban has taken to the national championship games, and you lined them all up, I don't know any serious Alabama fan that would say this isn't the weakest of all the teams that he's taken, including the teams that got beat. That this is probably the weakest team he showed up in a Natty with. Now's your chance
a lot
to
of
get
times when you hear or when they do lose in say a Natty game or something like that, this is the greatest Alabama team ever, and then they lose.
I mean,
yeah, I never said that in 16 or 18.
Well,
I thought we'd win. I thought we'd win. I was nervous
18,
about.
though.
I have to admit, I was nervous about 18. I was not at all convinced we would win in 18, but I sure as hell thought we would win in 16. That surprised me.
But I'm just talking in mainstream media, all the way down to all the way down to this right here. Just fans having debate online. I mean, the general consensus in 16 and 18 both were these were the greatest teams ever, and they didn't. cut the
right.
mustard, so to speak.
Right, and I do not buy the argument that last year's 2020 team was the best, because I don't think the 2020 team would score like they did against the 11 or 92 defenses.
Well, I think that's a little unfair comparing it to '92. That was a much more physical game back then.
Oh yeah, oh sure. The game's completely different now, and it's called differently. It's officiated differently.
I mean, if you mean mug a quarterback for too long, that's unsportsmanlike conduct.
I told Brian this week, I said, I swear, if Georgia gets this game to overtime and they pull what we pulled on them, I was going to lose my ever-loving mind. That's the one thing. You want to win this game? Fine, win it. But I swear to God, if they... we were joking about the quarterbacks, I think, and I said, I swear if you put someone out there and he beats us...
Ballard, I've said it before, that's not even a possibility.
I know.
That's not even close to a possibility. That's not even a possibility for Alabama at this point, because Saban's not doing what he did with Tua and Hurts. Saban hasn't put, and granted, he hasn't been in a position to put the backup quarterback in the second half and let him run up the score even more, because games have been so close this year.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it last year either.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
If I was a Georgia fan and you were to tell me right now, 6.5 hours before kickoff, that we're going to lose tonight,
Yeah.
I actually want to be blown off the field. I don't want another 2nd and 26, another Jalen Hurts scramble for a touchdown with 1:13 left. I don't want another heartbreak to Alabama. If Bama's going to beat us, just go out and beat us. I don't want another. I don't want to be taken all the way to the end of the night, and then you tell me that we're not fucking. No.
So just,
I agree with that, Jeff. I could deal with, I can deal with, say, and even take it a step further. I can deal with the, what was it, 87 Fiesta Bowl with Benny throwing 5 interceptions better than I could deal with the 02 Fiesta Bowl and the debacle that was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got blown, what was it, 44-18, whatever. When Trevor Lawrence blew us out, that hurt.
Yeah.
But it was nothing compared to the 2016 losing with 1 second left.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt 50 times more. In 2018, hey, when you get blown out, you just walk across the field, you shake the other guy's hand, and you just say, hey, you kicked our head in. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no excuses. You just say, you got us.
I had to get out of the bed for a week after that 28-point loss, though, I will say. Yeah, I mean, it just...
I know this is going to sound incredibly stupid or insanely what I'm about to say, but do you think the only way Georgia can win this year is to win by double digits over Alabama? I asked that question because everybody they've beaten this year has won by double digits or they've got killed by double digits, right? It's only been one game, but do you think they have to do that to Alabama just like they did to Michigan and the rest of the people for Georgia to win the game?
I get what you're saying, but I think if you just, even if you're up, like, dude, let's say if it's like a 1-point game and you got 2 minutes and all you want to do is kill the clock, just keep Bryce Young off the field, man.
Yeah, but he's making the argument that I tried to make a couple of days ago, and that is, what have we not seen from Georgia? Well, what we've not seen is how do they handle a tight game with 5 minutes to play.
Right.
Because their loss, game was over with 5 minutes to play. All their wins, game was long since decided before 5 minutes were left to play. They've not had a single game this year where with 5 minutes to play, it's less than a touchdown. We don't know how they're going to handle it. We know how Alabama will handle it. They've been playing that way most of the year. But how will Georgia handle it? I don't know.
And that goes right back to Kirby's decision, whether Georgia fans like it or not, of putting in Stetson Bennett. There's no way he is the most talented quarterback on that roster.
Absolutely
It's not possible.
No. He's not.
I'm not saying that Georgia can't win a game decided by 3 points. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet. It's the one scenario that has not come up yet.
And who would you have more faith in doing it, Stetson Bennett or one of the quarterbacks on the bench?
Oh,
it depends on which quarterback.
One of the quarterbacks on the bench,
yeah. I mean, are you talking? Do you go back to JT? Do you give Carson a chance? Who do you go with? Jackson must chance.
I'll also tell you this: if I'm Georgia, and it comes down to I've got two scenarios, 3 minutes left to go in the game, and I'm winning by 4.
Yeah.
I'm winning by 4. Or I'm losing by 4. So either I have to get a touchdown or Alabama has to get a touchdown. Okay. And there's 3 minutes to play. I would rather be trying to stop Alabama from getting the touchdown than thinking I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to go score the touchdown.
Right.
I would much rather put my eggs on my defense's basket than hope that Stetson Bennett's going to lead us to glory.
Now here's an argument Georgia fans aren't going to like, but looking at the big picture, it might be best. Losing this game might actually be best for Georgia in the long run. And it goes back to what I said earlier about, okay, if they lose this game because of Stetson Bennett, will that be what Kirby needs to see? Okay, I've got to go with the better quarterback. Or if somehow that they win it, does that validate Kirby's point of view and cost you more national titles in the future?
Maybe. Oh God, I don't know.
Like I said, that's looking at big picture.
Crimson says,
"No, Kirby's wanting to win it today."
Well, I know he wants to, and I know Georgia fans want to.
Everybody wants to, though.
But something has to get Kirby out of this mindset of these little walk-on South Georgia, I like to go fishing with quarterbacks are the way to go.
That's too late now for him to put JT Daniels in. I mean,
well, for this year, yes, and that's why I asked the question. In thinking long term, would it be better to lose this game to try and change Kirby's mind on that?
Well, the worst thing you don't want to happen is to lose the game and thinking JT's going to stick around and let's say he somehow transfers as a graduate transfer.
Well, I think JT's gone either way just because of the guys that are below him. But like I said, something has to be that catalyst to get Kirby out of this whatever quarterback mindset he's in.
Jeff, would you?
Hey, man, I believe in what's the backup for Alabama there? The
Tyson.
17.
Tyson. See, that's
Tyson,
the thing.
Paul Tyson.
If Rice were to go down, we'd be what Crimson said there. Is that necessarily true? I mean, I understand that the SEC title a few years ago, I mean, Jalen had the experience and talent and knew everything already. He just wasn't starting that year. But, I mean, we've had a full year. You have Tyson.
I mean, look, Crimson Brave. You're playing a team that absolutely sucks against Alabama backup, so I think y'all be just fine if Bryce Young goes.
Well, see, how is this different? Well, okay, I know how it's different because we have the 5-star already starting for us. We already have the best talent. And at the time, Tua was better than Jalen when he came in on 2nd and 26. But
B-Rob, Brian Robinson may be a team, he may show up tonight. You never know. Alabama might not have an explosive running game against Georgia last go around, but who knows? They may flip it on Georgia tonight.
Maybe.
You know, especially if Georgia's line of thought defensively going into the game is Alabama's gonna throw it all over the place, and then they come in here and start pounding the ball. Especially from the beginning, it's going to catch them off guard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, Bama's got plenty to choose from if we do need a backup tonight. We got, we got a few guys, Ugga boy. So
see, like here's my big thing when it comes to Georgia. Like,
What
so you can't invest a lot in the wide receiver core for Georgia when we play like Alabama because Georgia's not going to run a lot. And if they do run a lot, when I say run a lot, we're not going to get a lot of yards. Brian Robinson's probably going to get a lot for Bama in the rushing game, more so than our three running backs. Okay, so
yeah,
Stinson is going to have to try to find somebody and see. That's where I think it starts there, and then I think it just goes from downhill for Georgia because when you play an elite team like Alabama, Georgia finds themselves always struggling.
Ballard, you're right. Alabama has the talent at the backup quarterback.
yeah.
But this isn't 2017 where Tua came in the second half of every game and ran the offense.
Right.
You don't have that kind of experienced player ready to step in. If Bryce Young goes down or Bryce Young just can't get it done, because of all those close games this year, you're living or dying by Bryce Young.
I was fixing to say we really haven't had blowouts like we have in the past because, our offense and we've just had so many different factors, even on defense. The Iron Bowl was 4 overtimes, 2-point win. We only won by 6 against LSU. You look at the Florida game. You look at, we lost to A&M, but let's say even if we had won that was one of those situations where it's not, no, this isn't where you put the backup in. We really haven't seen a game that we've needed to put the backup in, I don't think, since maybe New Mexico State, but even before that, you had really the only other games were like Southern Miss and Mississippi State and Mercer. That was practically it. And I guess Miami. So, you talk about 12 regular season games and only 4 that were, we could put the backup in because we're in garbage time.
And when he did, he didn't put the backups in and let them run the offense.
Right.
They put the backups in and
to hand
handed
it
the ball
off. Yeah. And that's what I hate is that, and I get it, but I if you're going to put a backup in, why don't you give him an opportunity to try at least 1 or 2 completed passes?
Anybody can hand the ball off, I think.
Right. You literally back up, make sure the running back has his arms out to grab the football, and all you have to do is sit back and see if your O-line can block for him and see how far he can run up the middle. That's it. That's what you do in that situation as a QB.
And that's where I'll give Miami credit for their cupcake game this year. That was even before Derek King got hurt with that season-ending shoulder injury. He didn't even play in that game. They played every other quarterback on the roster, and they all ran the offense. And to me, that's the smartest thing you could do.
Yeah.
LW said Paul Tyson isn't mobile, and he would get slammed if he played tonight.
He is not mobile at all. Now he's very well built, and I've seen him throw the football, and he's got a strong arm. But I think in today's game, you got to have even the slightest bit of mobility, and Tyson ain't it. I'm sorry. I know I've said some things about Tyson. He's Bear's great grandson. He's got some key factors in him, and I would love to see him play somewhere and be a successful quarterback. And Brian, you and I have talked about the Georgia quarterbacks, and what you need in a quarterback. He's no more than what you guys have, where, yeah, it's a strong arm, but he can't scramble out of the pocket and avoid pressure.
So you think he's gonna stay at Alabama, considering
I
he's
don't know. I mean, I'm
Paul
surprised
Bryant's
he hasn't-
grandson?
I'm surprised he hasn't left already. Dude, I mean, he was there. I think he came in the year. I think
Like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been like 2 or 3 years, probably 4. I mean, he just keeps kind of sitting there redshirting. If I'm not mistaken, I think he came in right after Jalen left, or maybe that year, like an early enrollee. I don't know, but he's been there quite some time.
Yeah, it'd be about 2 or 3 years.
But it might be, but he's probably still there because of his great grandfather being the Bear. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I mean, not
and
even
maybe happy
necessarily
what he's
that.
doing, just being older.
just part of the program. Like, he probably doesn't want to go pro. He just wants to get his degree from Alabama and just hang out
about to say,
and just get
you-
something in. I don't know.
You have a lot of people that they're going to stay where they're at because they know they're not going to go to the NFL. So they're staying
Yeah.
where they're at. They're going to get their degree and
Go home.
go do whatever they're going to go do.
Yeah.
I mean, the vast majority of even Power 5 players don't end up playing in the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
Where do y'all think this Caleb Williams quarterback's going to end up at?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know, man.
He ain't coming to Georgia. I mean, I hate to say it. I've read articles and people saying on it, he ain't coming. That'd be stupid.
I mean, I don't say this to be mean, but I mean, he should die for all I care. I'm not even paying him the slightest bit of attention.
Yeah.
Granted, my team's in a position, quarterback's not a question, so that's why I'm not even looking at him.
Well, I don't think no matter who our quarterback is the question either, to be honest with you. I mean, we're still going to be in the same boat as long as Kirby's there, I think.
I mean, that's why I asked the question, would it be beneficial for Georgia in the long run to lose this game? Like I said, something's got to get Kirby out of that mindset of whatever mindset he is in about quarterbacks.
Right.
That seat's getting hot, dude.
I don't agree with that.
If it is, I mean, Georgia's not going to get rid of him. I mean, the only thing that he's slacking is to beating Alabama. Well, I mean, it could change tonight, but right now, as we speak, that's about the only thing. Recruiting, everything else is good. So, unfortunately, like Jeff Webster said, I mean, we're just going to have to take it if we can't beat Alabama. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's about our only choice.
But see, here's why I don't agree that you would have to take it. If Kirby wasn't in the mindset he was in and Justin Fields was playing in 17, I think Georgia would have won that game.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know. I just want to beat Alabama.
We don't.
The system is the question.
I mean, we don't know for sure, but at the very least, a very good argument could be made that Georgia would have won that game with Justin Fields at quarterback.
I mean, when he did play out there, when Justin Fields did play, I mean, he looked okay, but I mean, he was given a chance at Georgia. Kirby.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was given a chance to hand the ball off and run a fake punt.
Which was awful, by the way.
4th and 11, I still remember it, man.
I mean, it's awful, but everything we're seeing all the mistakes we're seeing out of Kirby is mistakes you would expect to see out of a guy that's been a head coach for 6 years, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all of his experience so far.
Yeah.
You think you'll live and learn.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a good game tonight. I'm going to get off here. I'll be live on here for the title game tonight, but it looks like Chess Hall's live hanging out. So, but Ugly Boy, good luck to your team, man. Give me a call.
Yeah, man, we're going to give it all we got. No excuses. I mean, this is it, right?
Slim, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate it. I was bored. I ain't had nothing else to do.
Same, man. That's why I'm live.
All right.
See ya. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Good luck to both these teams. Nothing but love and respect all the way around for the Georgia fans and Georgia. Just may the better team win, ultimately. But I'll see y'all tonight live for the game on here. Going to be doing my reaction to it. May the better team win. I mean, we talk about the quarterback situation with Georgia. We talk about what defense is Bama going to have. We talk about so much stuff. There's a lot of questions for both teams, but ultimately, someone's got to get the crown. It could be 3-0. It could be 50-0. It could be 10-3 like Georgia Clemson was. We don't know what to expect from these teams tonight. They both got some flaws, but they also both got a lot of great talent and key features. But I love you guys. Hoping for a W tonight. See you tonight for the game. I'll be live right here on Ballard Sports Media. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more amazing sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media checking out. Love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And roll tide.